Short form video is the worst thing that could have happened to our society because there's so much alt-right indoctrination and alt-right propaganda that just goes completely unchecked, completely unnoticed on this app at all.
Let me just stop you right there. If you are insinuating that Brett Cooper is alt-right, you're already an idiot. Brett Cooper is definitely conservative. She's definitely right-wing. But the indoctrination part, I don't understand. Do you think that everybody that is right-wing, that has alternative views to the left, is somehow partaking in some sort of indoctrination scheme to get young men to follow them or young women? I don't. This is a talking point I always hear from people. If you're right-wing, right? If you're conservative, and you're even, I know where he's going with this. I haven't even watched his video, but it's the same criticism I've heard of Brett Cooper over and over again. She's obviously very attractive. Mm-hmm. There's the same criticism that I hear, or the idea is that the Daily Wire hired her because she's beautiful, and that's enough for young boys to become conservatives. That there's this woman here preaching conservative values, and they're just going to follow her blindly. As if there's not beautiful women that exist on the left who people listen to and they're like, ugh, I can't stand her. Like, she sounds like a crazy feminist or whatever. That woman that we were, when we reacted to the Just Pearly Things video and that crazy Middle Eastern woman was at the bottom cackling. She was a good looking woman. Yeah. She kind of reminded me of Sofia Vergara a little bit. I wouldn't be caught dead with that woman in a room. Just going based off that. Maybe she's not like that in real life, but just based off that, no matter how good looking that woman looked, I could not be near her. So if we're going to apply that same logic, if we're going to apply that logic to Brett Cooper, surely we have to talk about left-wing indoctrination and them using beautiful women to indoctrinate young men, right? Well, obviously not. We're not going to use, that's a stupid talking point. Now, I don't even know if he's actually going to say that, but that's something that I hear espoused about Brett Cooper all the time. And I think it's a dumb talking point, personally, because there's plenty of beautiful women that are feminists that I can't stand. I literally cannot stand listening to. I'm not talking about like all feminists. I'm talking about these radical ones.
And it's basically psychological warfare at this point, because who is the target demographic of these videos? It's impressionable middle school and high school boys who are going through puberty, have raging hormones, and they're chronically online on apps like TikTok. And they keep seeing videos where men are going up to random women on the street like, oh, what do you like about men? And then they're just like, men bad. So like, and then they see a pretty woman like this, who works for Ben Shapiro, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. They see a pretty woman like this with crazy political takes, but it doesn't matter that those takes are crazy because they oppose the stereotypical lib takes that they see on TikTok because they're f***ing chronically online and have no concept for what happens in the real world. And then they just take all the politics along with it because pretty women make them feel good.
And I tell you, of course, it can't be because Brett Cooper says things that just resonate with people. That's why she has a gigantic audience. You really think that her fan base grew so quickly just because she's pretty? Bear in mind, there are a lot of women that watch Brett Cooper. I understand that a large contingent of her audience is young men, but she is also young. I think she's like 21, 22 years old, right. Maybe 23, I don't know. The idea that that's all there is to it. It's funny because when you say these things about women, people will get upset and be like, oh, you're always reducing us to our good looks or whatever. But as soon as it is somebody that opposes their views, that's what they reduce them to. You've only got this audience because you're good looking. I watch Brett Cooper all the time. I find her videos very interesting. I think that she is a nice, healthy alternative from the other people in the Daily Wire, because like Matt Walsh is like very like, not, I wouldn't say politically charged, but like his videos are very much centered on like gender and those sort of things. And Brett Cooper is more like, it's more laid back, you can kind of just sit there and enjoy it. Even Ben Shapiro's videos are very politically driven. So it's a nice alternative. And she does say things that I agree with. And she comes across to me as a very intelligent girl, especially at her age. She comes across as someone that is very in the know. Like, she's got good takes.
Shit,
yeah, she knows what she's talking about. That's not to say that I would agree with her on everything. I haven't heard her say much that I disagree with so far. To this guy, it would just be like, oh, because she's pretty. So you're reducing everything that she is, everything that she's learned over her life to she's got good looks, and that's why she's massive in the conservative scene. So you're doing exactly what you claim that these misogynists do, which is just reduce women to their good looks because it doesn't line up with you politically, which is ridiculous.
It's like, look at Kanye. Kanye just went on his whole fucking rant about his like black Jewish Israelite conspiracy, how he identifies as Jew, how the Jews are controlling the media, all this anti-Semitic shit, right? You have people in LA putting up signs that say Kanye was right about the Jews. You have people here in New York, in the city, on the subway, preaching about the shit that he's saying. Like, this shit extends into real life.
What's that got to do with Brett Cooper?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've heard Brett Cooper go against what Kanye said about Jewish people. As a matter of fact, I've pretty much heard everybody at the Daily Wire, minus maybe Candace Owens, but no one likes her anyway, that they don't stand with what Kanye was saying.
I think the point he's getting at here, though, is just it's everywhere. And I don't think he's just pinpointing her only. I think he's using different examples.
Well, he's talking about Brett Cooper and Kanye West in the same breath. So he's basically throwing Kanye West under the right-wing banner. And people seem to think that everyone that is right-wing and everyone that is left-wing have the same views. The views differ heavily. There are a lot of people on the left that don't agree with a lot of the things you see in the media. And there's people on the right that don't agree with every single thing that Brett Cooper is going to say, or Matt Walsh, or Ben Shapiro, or Stephen Crowder, or any of these prominent right-wing figures. You can't just paint everyone with the same brush. You putting Kanye in the same sentence as Brett Cooper with the things that he's saying about Jewish people is ridiculous, and it's a cop-out. And besides, they've already disavowed Kanye. I've heard them disavow him multiple times. I also think it's funny that he's talking about right-wing indoctrination and pretty women on TikTok. When we've seen the things posted on TikTok, we've seen the levels of indoctrination there is for children on TikTok. And these are not right-wing figures. I'm not saying they're left-wing, but they're definitely not right-wing. They're definitely not conservatives that are espousing a lot of the stuff you see on TikTok. So I do think that's a bit of an interesting take.
Young boys grow up and like get into the real world, it's going to be problem. They're going to take positions of power in the government. They're going to fucking take positions of power in corporations. They're going to be everywhere. They're going to be in society. This is a problem.
So basically, if you're right-wing, if you're conservative, you're a problem. If you're a fan of Brett Cooper, if you like anyone at the Daily Wire, anyone at the Blaze, anyone on Crowder's team, anyone that goes against whatever he believes, I don't know, I'm assuming he's left-wing, then you're alt-right or far-right, or I don't even know what they class it as now. You're a Nazi or whatever. I don't even know if you can say that word on YouTube. I don't know.
Leave it out just in case.
Yeah. You're one of the bad guys from WW2. I don't know. That video came across as extremely stupid to me, like an extremely bad take. I don't think he's watched a lot of Brett Cooper's content to be saying stuff like we've watched Brett Cooper. Yeah. Brett Cooper's great. I enjoy Brett Cooper's content. She comes across as like a very likable, bubbly person. And I think people just hate on her because she had one of the biggest like explosions on YouTube that I've ever seen. Because I remember when the comment section was coming out and I subscribed to it when she had about 66,000 subscribers. I think she like got that quite quickly when it was being advertised. And so I've been there. I watched her first episode, her first live stream. I was there when the channel opened up, and it's only been like a year or so since, and she's got like 1.6 million subscribers now. And people think it's just because she's pretty. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. She is very pretty. But I don't think that she's been able to maintain an audience by just being pretty.
Yeah, it's definitely not just down to her looks as well. I think her videos are very intriguing as well. Like, she's got a good energy throughout her videos. She knows what she's talking about. And I just think the whole overall concept of what she does is getting her the views that she is. I wouldn't have ever looked at her and based that on her looks.
No, not at all. And people give her a stick anyway and say she looks like Ben Shapiro. Like, she can't win. So the thing is, there's loads of gorgeous women that are left wing that I strongly disagree with. Hollywood is just left wing. They're all left wing. There's loads of beautiful women there. Completely disagree with like most of their woke takes. Pushing the idea. It's funny that they push the idea that people, and I've heard this before from loads of people on the left, that people only watch her because she's pretty. But then when you reduce a woman to nothing but her looks and it lines up with them politically, then they've got a problem with it. Then the feminists are out with their pitchforks and that. But you won't hear them coming to defend Brett Cooper because she's right wing. So as far as they're concerned, she's a problem. She's dangerous. She's got harmful views. I've seen videos of people reacting to her on TikTok saying that she's extremely harmful and extremely dangerous.
Wow.
Which I just think is bizarre.
I haven't seen enough content to judge if people are actually against, say, what she says. But any of the videos and footage that I have watched of her has always been sense.
And it's always been very tame takes.
Yeah.
She's never got like a radical take on things. And I think she was covering this trans person called Dylan Mulvaney, I think, the guy that was doing the 300 days of womanhood.
Okay.
Right. And she said that she finds him quite entertaining, that she likes his content. Now, she's right wing. Like, a lot of the time you hear from right wing pundits or like whatever that they're always against like the trans people, whatever, which is obviously not true. Not all of them are. They might not agree with the ideas, but they're not always out here bashing trans people. And so if she's out there with a very tame take on somebody that is prancing around saying that they're enjoying 300 days of womanhood, that doesn't really seem like somebody that is far right to me or someone that's dangerous. Well, I mean, if you go on TikTok, you'll see videos of people going after her. They call her a pick-me girl as well.
Wow.
I didn't even know what that was until I watched her video explaining what a pick-me girl is. But they call Just Pearly that as well. Basically, anyone that doesn't agree with the consensus or doesn't... Basically, a girl that is putting herself across in a way where guys are just going to go for her and she's not really being true to herself. And they're going to use that for any woman that is not espousing the things that they want. I don't think all guys are being pick-me's when they are saying things that I disagree with, or if they're saying things that line up with feminists. There's definitely some of them.
It's more of a female thing, though, isn't it?
What, being a pick-me? Maybe, but she doesn't come across that way to me.
No,
What?
she does. She definitely doesn't.
Anyway, you get off Brett Cooper's back, I'll come for you. That makes me sound like a simp.
Proper.
Yeah, well, her content's good anyway. Jokes aside, like, she has good content. I hope that she continues to do what she's doing, and these people need to pull their heads out of their backsides, because that guy's video is a whole bunch of nothing. I'm talking about indoctrination. There's plenty of indoctrination on TikTok, trust me, but it's not coming from Brett Cooper. We all know where it's coming from, whether we say it out loud or not.